What is going on, traders? We got a lot to discuss, but before we get into that, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. I mean, what more do you guys want, man? What more do you guys want? Now, granted, we didn't get our gap down, but I've been calling for this drop for like the past 2 weeks, and we've been getting little drops here and there, but the big drop has finally come. Now, before you start thinking I'm a perma bear, if you're new here or anything, prior to that, I've been extremely bullish. I called for Nasdaq to be at 18,000. It went to 18,000, and it went all the way to 18,500. Now I'm saying that the Nasdaq has a price target of 17,400, 17,300 range. But prior to that, we want to see our target of 17,800 hit, which right now we're pretty close to. We're at 17,852. Now, again, I'm not a perma bear. I'm not a perma bull. I don't care where the market goes as long as I make money. I only give you guys what my strategy tells me. And my strategy is the supply and demand strategy, and it works. Okay, I'm going to continue to show you guys over and over that this strategy works. All right, and it's so easy. Again, I told you guys, it's so easy for traders to, the market is overall bullish, so I'm going to stick to that. It's easy to make a YouTube channel and constantly tell you over and over, I'm bullish until we get lower lows and lower highs, and the lower low is broken and all that other stuff. Then that's when I will become bearish. But by then, you missed majority of the move, right? We want to trade like institutions. We want to trade like the whales. Do you think that the whales and institutions that pretty much run the market, you think they're waiting on lower lows and lower highs to be broken and things like that? No, they're not. So how do you get ahead of that? Well, you get ahead of that by supply and demand zones, not support and resistance, supply and demand zones. And this is not knocking anybody's strategy. Do what works for you. But if you want to be able to trade like the big guys, then you have to think like the big guys, right? You can't think like the average retail trader. You can't be a millionaire without, with thinking like the average retail trader. It just doesn't work that way, right? You want to be kind of ahead of the curve, because if you think like the average retail trader, then the average retail trader is like, oh, well, I'm going to wait for lower lows to be broken, or I'm going to wait for, higher highs to be broken, whatever the case may be, in order to be bullish or bearish. So, what have I been constantly telling you guys over and over? Bears have been slowly creeping into the market. You don't need a volume profile or volume to see that. I mean, look at the candles. The candles and wicks, I tell you guys all the time. Wicks and candles tell you everything you need to know. What are we seeing? We're seeing bigger bearish candles step in and smaller bullish candles. Bigger bearish candles, smaller bullish candles. Bigger bearish candles. I mean, you keep seeing it across the board. You don't need volume to tell you who's taking control of the market. I've told you guys this videos ago that you can see this in real time, where bears are slowly starting to creep into the market. You don't need lower highs to be broken to determine that a reversal is on the way, right? And prior to this, I've been extremely bit bullish. When Nasdaq was like in the low 17,000s, I was already calling for 18,000, 18,500. So again, when are you going to take me serious? Because people still, are still arguing against my videos, right? They're still arguing. They're still saying, you know, this is a bear trap and things like that. But I've said before, when this rally was happening, right? If we just look at the NQs and we go back, when this rally was happening, what did we constantly see? Bears continue to get trapped, and bulls will step in and buy everything back up. We've seen it over and over. But then I told you guys in one of my videos that I think the rotation is going to start happening, where we see the opposite happen, where bull traps continue to happen. We saw that today, where the market ran up this morning and everybody thought the Iran Israel deal just vanished overnight, like, let's really think about that. You just really thought it was just going to go away that fast, and boom, the market just starts booming again? No. But everybody thought that, and boom, what happens? Midday, we get a huge drop, bulls get trapped, and we drop all the way to 504 on the SPY. By the way, our price target hit at 508 on the SPY, so congratulations if you followed that play. But yeah, man, I don't know what else to tell you guys. it works. Okay, I don't have to wait for lower highs and lower lows because institutions, whales, they don't wait for lower lower highs and lower lows to be broken. They trade every day. Okay, so again, it's just very easy to call a bull run when the market is overall bullish majority of the year, almost every year, besides COVID. So it just that's just very easy. A 2 year old can think do that, but not too many can call reversals on the spot and be really accurate with it. At least I think I'm very accurate with it. I'll let you guys decide that. But enough of that, right? You guys came here for levels. You guys came here to see what I thought about tomorrow or the rest of the week, and I'm still bearish. Okay, I'm still short term bearish. I want to make that clear. Short term on the market, I am bearish. Okay, key things we have coming up, right? We have Fed Powell speaking tomorrow, and then we have the crypto halving. We have Bitcoin halving, and if you want to use Bitcoin as a lead indicator, I mean, there's your indication there. It's been dropping. So that may be a sign that the market is going to drop. If Bitcoin gives up 62K, then you're looking at 60K. Me personally, I want to see a break of 50K. After 50K, you're looking at a move down to 57,800. You break below that, you're heading as low as 52K. Straightforward like that, pretty simple. As far as upside, you want to see Bitcoin reclaim 67,000. After 67,000, you want to see Bitcoin get rid of these guys up here and reclaim 70,500. After 70,500, in order for me to be really bullish on Bitcoin, I don't know where all my drawings went, but regardless, in order for me to be bullish on Bitcoin, I want to see a break back above 74K, 75K psych level. Simple as that. Other than that, short term, bearish on Bitcoin. All right. Long term, absolutely bullish on Bitcoin. But the halving is coming up, so stop listening to these YouTubers that are constantly telling you to buy the dip when you have a whole halving coming up. No event matters for Bitcoin other than a halving. Plain and simple. That is the only thing that matters. I don't care if they make 3 ETFs. I don't care if they make 100 ETFs. The halving is the biggest event for Bitcoin. And every halving, what happens? We either plummet prior to it or we plummet around that day. Plain and simple. And then we start to run around May, summertime. So be on the lookout for my crypto videos. But that's really all I have as far as Bitcoin. Nasdaq. Nasdaq. I told you guys my price target on the Nasdaq is 17,800. In the last video, I told you that. In the video before that, I told you that. I think Nasdaq can go as low as 17,300. Okay. I don't make these targets up. I don't make these targets up. I promise you, I don't. Okay. Today, SPX. When SPX was at 5140, I said in the Discord 5085. Somebody asked me like, what are the targets for it? I said 5085, and there's high premium contracts at 5665, and the gap fill is at 5124. Then I said 507 is still the measured move on SPY, and then that's when ES started to reject really hard on the daily chart. And you can look at the SPX. I mean, you can look at the SPS 5060. It went all the way from like 5150 all the way down to 5060. This was all me saying this all in the same day. So, as far as the NASDAQ goes, 17,300 is my target. Okay. 17,300 is my target. Am I expecting it like overnight or am I saying this is going to happen tomorrow? Absolutely not. I do expect somewhat a relief bounce. So, if we wanted to map that out and how relief bounce will look, mind you, we are out of this 4 hour supply and demand zone. So I'm looking for a retest of about 18,130, 18,100 range before the next leg down. Okay. After that, I want to see a break of 17,600. You can say 17,500 psych level to be really safe. And then after that, I'm looking to take these guys out over here. Okay, right here. I want to take these guys out right here in order for us to go lower. Okay, which is really around the 17,300 range. But me, these guys, these buyers right here. Remember, wicks tell you where buyers and sellers are. Okay, so we want to take these guys out if we are bearish to see more downside. Okay, as far as the bullish, if we want to see more upside, if you're bullish and you want to see more upside, you want to get back above 18,350. Okay, to have some type of hope. Let's get rid of this so I don't confuse anybody. Okay, so 18,350. Okay, if we want to be bullish, We want to get first. We obviously want to get out of the supply and demand zone in the 4 hours. So 18,150, we want to be safe and say 18,150 is where I want to see us get back above the supply and demand zone. We get back above the supply and demand zone, then we chances are we're heading towards 18,350. And after that, we want to see a move back above these guys right here at around, oops, at around 18,450. Now remember, I told you guys, 18,500 is irrelevant. It's a completely irrelevant level. I don't care how many times a YouTuber or whoever you're following tells you this. It is butter. It is completely irrelevant. The reason why, look how many times we broke through it. We broke through it so many times that that level is just non-existent anymore. It's not a key level anymore. Once we get there, we're probably going to break above it. That is how you get trapped by not paying attention to how often a level is broken. Like when was that? Friday? No, Thursday. When we had that super rally, but the Nasdaq and everybody thought because the Nasdaq went back above 18,500 that the rally was just here, but again, it's butter. Okay, it's irrelevant now. Until we get back above 18,610, then I'm kind of neutral. Okay, I'm kind of neutral. If we get back above 18,700, then that's when I would be bullish on the market again, or at least on the tech sector again. But as far as downside goes, again, you break below 17,600, you're looking at a lot of downside. Okay. After that, you're looking at a move towards 17,400. Okay. So those are that is what I'm looking at as far as the Nasdaq. As you can see, we're below the supply and demand zone on the 4 hour time frame. I'm obviously looking for some type of retest so I can get more entries. So maybe some type of relief bounce here and then boom. Okay. So I am expecting some type of relief bounce, maybe tomorrow, dead cat bounce, whatever you want to call it. Even in the whatever this is, whatever, get this out the way. But even in the Discord, I called on our Forex signals. So Forex signal Nasdaq, we entered at 18,220, and our price target was 17,900. Stop was 18,400, and we absolutely decimated that. Okay, absolutely. So join the Discord, man. I do Forex. We do crypto. We haven't started crypto. We're waiting to after the halving, and then I'll start doing crypto signals. But I mean, we're on a roll. Bitcoin, same thing. Called it from 69,000 all the way to 65,000. 65,000 was our price target, and boom, we took profit. That was like when the whole Iran Israel thing started, and then Bitcoin just plummeted all the way to like 62K. So I know what I'm talking about, man. I don't make these levels up. I just go by what my strategy tells me. If my strategy gives me a target, that's what I stick to. I trust my strategy, and a lot of traders don't trust the strategy that they use. Okay, so ES. So I told you guys when ES breaks below 5,200, this thing is plummeting. It's heading to 5,150. Okay, it kind of teased it a bit, but as you guys can see, we broke below this 4 hour supply and demand zone. We're below the 20 SMA. We're below the 50 SMA now. So I mean, what else do I have to tell you? We're also at the bottom of this 4 hour supply and demand zone, which also leads me to believe, unless we just continue to break down after hours, that we will see some type of relief bounce. I think it's going to be a decent bounce. I'm looking at maybe a retest of 5,200, maybe 50, 5,200, 5,180, somewhere around that range before the next potential leg down. Or we just simply retest the 50 SMA and go from there, 5,150, and then we just continue down. But as far as your key levels here, 59, 59.5, so 50.95 is your next key level. You start breaking below that, you're looking at 50.75. After that, you're looking at a move all the way down to 50.40. Okay, 50.40. After that, 50.23. I mean, I could just keep going, but you guys get the idea. Okay. As far as upside, I'm not bearish. I mean, not bullish on the market. At least bullish short term on the market until we get back above 52.50, or you could say 52.60 to be really safe, which is right where these guys are. Hopefully, you guys can see this. So right where these guys are, we want to get above these guys right here. Okay, that's where we want to get above. All right, we get above these guys, then I'm going to be kind of neutral. We get out of this supply and demand zone at around 5,300, 5,315 to be safe. Then we're heading towards 5,330. We break above 5,335, then that's when I'm going to be bullish on the market, or at least the SPY all over again. But for now, short term, still bearish. I do expect again a dead cat bounce or some type of relief bounce, maybe heading into tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll see. But it is important to note that Tuesdays usually continue what Mondays do. So if we do get a relief bounce, then we may look at a bigger drop sometime in the afternoon Tuesday. It just depends, okay? It depends, or we just see it on Wednesday, okay? It really depends on what we do have Jerome Powell speaking, so I guess it depends on that. Me, I just think news is a lot of noise, so I just go by what the charts tell me. But just be on the lookout for that. Tuesdays usually continue what Mondays do. I told you guys in the last video, Mondays mirror Fridays, and what happened? Everybody was like, "Oh no, Bears are going to get trapped. We're going to get a lot of upside today. The rally is going to continue, blah, blah, blah." And, Twitter was saying this, Discord was saying this, and I'm just like, all right, cool. We're just going to ignore Mondays, literally mirroring Fridays almost every time. If Fridays are bullish, Mondays are usually bullish. If Fridays are bearish, Mondays are usually bearish. So, I mean, historical data trumps all, man. If you look back in history, you see it all the time. You see these things all the time. But don't listen to me, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. All right. But that's what I got for ES Spy. Spy, spy, spy. So Spy is essentially the ES. So as far as Spy goes, price target of 508 hit, right? And again, I do expect a relief bounce. We broke below the 4 hour supply and demand zone. So I do expect some type of retest to the upside. If we look at where is it? Here we go. If we look at unusual wells, we do have calls ending the day. We have pretty high premium calls for the end of the day. We got 504 calls, 508 calls, and they're mostly expiring for tomorrow. We do have 502 puts expiring for tomorrow, 504 calls. Well, that's a low premium, but majority of these are pretty. They don't have like a long range. 508 calls is probably like the highest I've been seeing, so we could get a retest as high as about 509, 510 range before that next leg down. As you see, 502 puts, they pretty much expire today. Yeah, these are 0 DTE, but most of these are for tomorrow, which is which is April 16th. So be on the lookout for that. So I do expect some type of relief bounce just based off what we're seeing off of unusual wells as well. Okay, so where is 508? So that's another reason why I think we could get a retest of 510, maybe. So it will look something like this. We retest the top of the supply and demand zone, the 4 hour supply and demand zone, and also depending where the 50 SMA is, it could end up here as well. And then we see another leg down. My price target on the SPY, my new price target on the SPY is 495. I think we're going to head as low as 495. But before we get there, we obviously need to break below 503. We need to get inside the supply and demand zone right here, this guy right here. We get inside 503. That sounds crazy to say, pause. But 503, then we're heading towards 500. We break below 500, then I think we're just going to head towards 495. It's pretty illiquid down here. If you guys look over here, um, you got some turbulence around 497, but I think we can make that push to 495. All right, so that is my projected target. Um, we look at the daily. How did I get that target actually? Because I know somebody's going to be like, well, where are you getting these targets from? And I told you guys all the time, the projected tool tells you exactly where to get these targets from. So here it is, the daily time frame. This is our projected target. So it's about 496. So I'm like $1 off. 496, 495 range. As you guys can see, we broke out of this rising wedge pattern. So we broke down out of this rising wedge pattern. We broke below the 50 SMA. So I do expect some type of retest of maybe the 50 SMA, daily 50 SMA, before the next leg down. Again, 503, 500, and then as low, or you can say 497, and then as low as 495 on the SPY. As far as upside goes, so upside, you really want to get back into this range. You want to get back above 515, 516, I would say, before there's like any type of hope at that point. Let's get rid of this so I don't confuse anyone. And then after that, you want to get above these guys. Okay, remember, wicks tell you where sellers and buyers are. So you want to get back above these guys. I would say to be safe, 520. If you really want to be bullish again or somewhat bullish, you're looking at 522. We break above 522, you're heading towards 525. And then after that, you get above 525, then chances are you're just heading straight to 530 at that point. I don't see why would we go that high just for us to give it all away again. So that's my thought process on it. I could be wrong on that as far as like giving it all away again, but you know, 525 is the key level there. Triple Qs. Triple Qs. First off, my price target on triple Qs is 422 now. I told you guys we break below 433, there is going to be pain. Now, I do expect a relief bounce. Okay, I do expect a relief bounce, and we could retest this 50 SMA, which is inside the supply and demand zone on the 4 hour time frame, which can go as high as 438. So we could see, I guess, somewhat of a rally tomorrow, if you want to call it that, before the next leg down. Okay, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Bears got trapped and everything." Bears didn't get trapped if we move all the way from 514 to 504 on the spot. That's not a bear trap. Bears made money. That's not a trap. At that point, I imagine Bears expects the relief bounce too. So unless you're just one of those super greedy traders and that move wasn't enough or you caught a falling knife, those are the type of traders that's only going to get trapped. But overall, big bears and things like that, they're not getting trapped off of 514 to 504 drop. That's crazy to think. All right, Bears collected. They definitely collected. Okay, so trust me, they big bears, whales, things like that. They collected. Now retail traders, that's a different story. Okay, retail traders just love to get trapped. But again, 438. I think we could retest that maybe tomorrow. Maybe Jerome Powell saves the market somehow, or short term he saves the market. But 422 is what I'm looking at. As far as targets go, 429, you break below 429, you're easily heading towards 425. After that, again, you want to get rid of these guys. These guys over here are panicking. They are freaking out right now. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this, right? These guys right here. I told you about these guys in the last video. These guys in this wick right here, these buyers, and even down here, they're panicking. They're starting to freak out. Okay, they're starting to get out their position. They get out their position, we are plummeting. Okay, so 422 is my target, which is like, well, 423, 422 is my target, which is around this, below the supply and demand zone on triple Qs. Now, as far as upside goes, 439, you want to get back above 439. You can say 440 as your psych level. Let's get rid of this. So we get back above this supply and demand zone here, which is around 439. After that, and you'll be back above the 50 SMA. After that, you're looking at a move back to 441 and then 443. If you get back above 447, then I'm somewhat bullish. You get back above 450, then expect a rally to psych levels, 455, 460, so on and so forth. So as you guys can see, we broke out of this pattern. I mean, there's not much to talk about here. Triple Qs just absolutely looks amazing for downside here, even on the daily time frame. I mean, beautiful. So I'm not perma bearish or anything like that. I'm just giving you what the charts give me. Every video I put out to you guys has been damn near accurate. So if you don't believe me by now that I know what I'm talking about, and my trading style is completely different. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, I don't trade. I try not to trade like the average retail trader. I try not to think like the average retail trader, because those are the type of traders that get trapped. Those are the type of traders that are scared to make plays and things like that. And you'll hear it from a lot of retail trader YouTubers where they're just like, I'm just gonna wait till the lower high is broken in order to jump in. Okay, you're gonna miss majority of the move, but okay. And there's always opportunities, of course, but still, you miss moves like this when you're waiting. You miss big moves like this. Me, I didn't miss it. Okay, we traded this, and we've been trading it for like 2 weeks straight. We've been trading a lot of these big downside movements. I mean, I just showed you guys the Nasdaq trade that we took. So, I mean, join the Discord, man. It's only $25 a month. I'm gonna end up raising the price on y'all, so join it. Um, SPX, I'm not gonna go over SPX. I just started looking at it, and when I noticed there was a lot of premium orders at around 50, 65. But I mean, look at this thing. We broke below 20 SMA. We broke below the 50 SMA. We broke trend. I mean, there's not much else to talk about. If anything, we could be looking at a retest at the bottom of this trend, maybe to 5180, something like that, before the next leg down. I mean, I mean, look at this. There's a lot of space down here. All right, so be on the lookout for that. But I mean, I think you guys got the idea when I went over ES and SPY. All right, so Nvidia. Did I go over Nvidia? I'm pretty sure I went over Nvidia. Price target on Nvidia is pretty much 740. I would say 800. You know, you could say 800. So okay, So I told you guys that I'm gonna go over my price target of 740 because I told you guys in previous videos that I won't talk about it until we get closer to that target. So I'm gonna stick to that. But 823 is still my target on Nvidia. Short term, I'm looking at 855. It's currently there after hours, so that's pretty crazy. 855. I actually did take a YOLO play on that. I took like 800 puts on Nvidia. Currently up 100% on that. So really nice play. I didn't go crazy on it. It was just a YOLO play. 855, but Nvidia breaks below 838. Then you're looking at a move towards 830. You break below 830, you're heading towards 823, which is where this gap fill is. After that, you can go as low as the supply and demand zone to 800 796 range. Okay, so be on the lookout on for that as far as Nvidia. In order for me to be bullish on Nvidia again, first, I want to get back into the supply and demand zone at around 905. We'll say 910 to be safe. We break above 910, then I'm looking at a retest back to 924. We break above 924, chances are we're revisiting new highs again on Nvidia. So be on the lookout for that. But as far as downside goes, if you are bearish, you want to take out these guys right here. Okay, a lot of turbulence right here at the 850 area, about 850, 840s. Wait, no, 850. Well, actually, there is a lot of turbulence from 850 all the way to 838. So we're gonna need news. Okay, and I told you guys this. I told you guys this in the last video. I said we're going to need news to break these levels, and look what happened. We got news. So hopefully you remember that. Looking at the Nasdaq, I said, what do we need to break this? Literally in the last video, I said we need news to get below these guys. So either we gap down or we don't, we didn't gap down, or we need news. And boom, Iran, Israel came through. Okay. So I know what I'm talking about, man. All right. So Nvidia, I mean, yeah, 740 is my kind of long target. But if you want to go short, 823. That's my short term target. It can go as low as 800. Okay. AMD. We took profit, so congratulations on the traders who took profit on AMD with me. Um, AMD, hold on. Okay, so AMD, we did 157.5 puts for today. Well, not today. There wasn't zero DTE, but we took them today for April 19th. And then we took profit. It dropped like to 159.5. And then after that, we just took profit. So we entered at like 163. It plummeted to like 159. We took profit. We took profit on our SOXL play that I was telling you guys about in the last video. SOXL, we got in at around, I want to say, yeah, we got in at the 42 break and then we took profit at like low 39. Okay, so congratulations if you took that trade as well. But as far as AMD goes, AMD, as long as it stays below 164, I'm pretty bearish on it. I mean, it doesn't even have to stay below 164. I'm just bearish on this thing in general. But 164, if it breaks below 159, I think this thing is done. Okay, not done long term, but just done short term. 159, as you guys can see, I mean, look at this. Look at this. The 20 SMA has crossed the 50 SMA. We're at the 200 SMA. I mean, and it's broken below that. We break below 159. This thing is plummeting to 152, and that's my price target. 152. The lowest I'm looking at is 145 on AMD. Okay. As far as upside goes, until AMD gets back into this 174, 175 supply and demand zone, and the 20 SMA crosses back above the 50 SMA, there's not much to talk about here. Um, you want to get back above 180. Yeah, you want to get back above 180 for me to even think to be bullish on AMD again. But right now, I've been bearish on this thing for a minute. As you guys know, I've been taking trades, puts on this thing. I had puts in the last video. I had 155 puts, 157.5 puts, 160 puts. I just keep taking AMD over and over as a sympathy play for Nvidia. And so far, it's been playing out. We only lost two trades, and one trade I got psyched out of because of what the rally that happened on Thursday. And then I don't remember what happened on the other trade. But yeah, AMD, it breaks below 159. You're heading as low as 152. After that, you're looking at a move to about 147. I would say lowest 145. Okay. SOXL. So SOXL, I have a price target on this thing to 25. I imagine that's when Nvidia is going to be like at 740 and all the semis are going to be like plummeting or whatever the case may be. But short term, I mean, you want to see it hold above 36. Okay, it breaks below 36. I mean, you got like a lot of turbulence here. There's a lot going on here. Okay, why I'm on a daily time frame? Regardless, there's still a lot going on here. SOXL, I mean, again, you need news. You need like crazy news. Again, we did get crazy news, but you need more crazy news in order to break all of this turbulence down here. So be on the lookout for SOXL. Price target for this is about 25. I wouldn't say long term, I guess short term in a way, maybe for the month of April. So be on the lookout for that. The measured move for the symmetrical triangle is 25, so that's where I'm getting my price target from, in case you're wondering. So I'm not making these things up. As far as upside goes, you want to see it break above 46. After 46, you're looking at a move back to 48, 49 range, which is where the supply and demand zone is. And then after that, you're heading towards 50. You break above 51, then yeah, chances are Nvidia is just like semis are just like going through the roof at that point. So be on the lookout for that as far as SOXL. Tesla, um, yeah, Tesla. My price target on Tesla, I've been talking about this for a while. My price target still remains the same, 150. I still remain bearish on Tesla. I follow my strategy. Tesla can go up and up until it starts breaking key levels to the upside. I will remain bearish on this thing. Okay, 150 is still my price target. I would say it can go as low as 130. All right, 130. So if Tesla breaks below 158, you can say 158, 158.5, then yeah, this thing is dropping. So one thing I want you guys to understand about patterns is when they fail miserably. And patterns like falling wedges and rising wedges, when they fail very badly. And this is a failed pattern. This is failing. This is absolutely failing. So what happens is that when breakouts happen on patterns and they don't like immediately start to take off in some way, shape, or form, then they start to roll over, okay, and they continue to try to roll over, and then they just end up and most of the time, okay, most cases they end up below the pattern. So this is where I'm getting 130 from. Okay, we can go as low as 130 on Tesla, and the chances are that's probably because we're pricing in earnings. I mean, I don't think anyone is expecting Tesla to have good earnings. When are they earnings? I think it's like April 24th. I could be way off actually. Oh yeah, I'm right. April 24th is their earnings. So I think we're starting to price that in. Again, when patterns fail, they fail very bad. Okay. If you don't believe I know what I'm talking about when it comes to patterns by now, then I don't know. Okay. But Tesla's rolling over. This is not a good move. Okay. This doesn't look good at all. So if you have hope for Tesla, I don't know. Long term, sure. Short term, this thing does not look good. I don't think anyone thinks their earnings are going to beat at all. This thing is going to just continue to plummet, in my opinion. Okay. So that's my thoughts as far as Tesla. Upside 185 until it gets back above 185, 187. You're in this liquidated area if you get there. So Tesla will pretty much just fly all the way to like 200. Mm, We'll say 194, 196 to be safe, but 200 is where a lot of this turbulence is. But for now, again, if Tesla wanted to take off, it would have done it by now. It would have, honestly. If Tesla wanted to break out of this pattern and absolutely just go crazy, it would have done it. Right now, it's just rolling over and slowly dying. Okay. So that's my thoughts on Tesla. I believe I went over everything I wanted to go over. So VIX, I've been saying for a while now that I have a price target on the VIX for 20. Um, I don't know if I said it in videos. I think I've been saying it in Discord. But 18, I told you guys, when we start hitting that 17 level, it is time to be worried. Okay. And I know we kept hitting 17 and kind of like, coming back from the 17 level and hitting it again. I kept telling you guys, if we hit 17 on the VIX, you need to start really worrying. Okay. If you are trying to be bullish on the market. Okay. And as you guys can see, we went absolutely bananas and went all the way to 19. So I have a price target on the VIX for 25. Again, I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Okay. So, like Tesla, right? Remember, I told you when a stock breaks out of a pattern, I guess you wouldn't call VIX a stock, but when a pattern is broken, the either it's going to take off. Okay, it's going to take off. Right now, VIX is kind of on a different scale here. It's volatility index, so I mean, I don't know if we want to put it in the same category as like Tesla, obviously, but Tesla just took too long. It just took way too long to make a decision. If it wanted to break out, it would have done it by now. And obviously, the market plays a part in that. But VIX looks like it just wants to keep going. Okay. And then again, I think it's just going to start heading towards these guys at around high. I'm not high, but 22, 23. I'll say it goes as high as 25. So be on the lookout for that as far as the VIX. You want VIX to get back up below 14 in order to see some type of hope for the market, at least short term. Okay. But that's really all I have. I mean, you got to hit me with a like. You got to hit me with a subscribe. Hit me with a good job, something. All right. Because I'm keep calling this stuff, and I've been on point. I've been pretty accurate. I may be a little bit late, but it's never like ridiculously late. Like I said today might be is going to be a gap day. We didn't get the gap, but we got a drop. Okay, I said today is going to mirror Friday, and what happened? Today mirrored Friday. Okay, so tomorrow I think we're going to see some type of continuation. Not right away, I don't think. I think we potentially get some type of relief bounce in the morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, bulls get trapped all over again, and then we see more downside, or we start seeing it into Wednesday morning, something like that. So just be careful in this market. I know it's really hard to switch from being bullish, hardcore bullish when you're seeing like moves like this for like months. But at some time, you can't be surprised. I mean, look at the Nasdaq. It's just rolling over. Okay, it's just rolling over. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you guys, but be careful. Okay, be careful in this type of environment. There's a lot of money on the table. That's stairs up, elevator down. Okay, 17,300. Be on the lookout for that. Uh, Discord link is in the description below. Like, subscribe, comment. See you guys in the next video. Have a good one, traders.